The Exorcism is a 2024 film that stars Russell Crowe and some other people. And sorry, I don't mean any disrespect, but I don't know who the other people are. It was directed by Joshua John Miller. And in this film, Russell Crowe plays an actor named Anthony Miller, who is cast as the priest in this remake of what I believe is supposed to be The Exorcist. Although some of the dialogue is not from The Exorcist, and yeah. Anyway, but Russell Crowe's character has a lot of baggage. He comes with a lot of baggage. And the reason why he was actually cast originally is because the original actor, played by Nathan Petrelli from Heroes, he was going through the lines, running over, and he was killed by something on the set of this film. Nobody was there when he died, so they think he probably killed himself. So they had to cast somebody else, so they decided to cast Russell Crowe, Anthony Miller, because Anthony Miller was once a great, phenomenal actor. But he had some tragic issues that happened in his life, so he has had a down slump in his career. He's not really doing very well. While this is happening, his daughter comes back. She gets kicked out of school, and I think that she got kicked out of school, and she has to go back and live with her father. And supposedly, like, if she manages to keep her grades up, the school will take her back in the next semester. So, but she doesn't call him Dad. She calls him Tony by his actual name because they have a strained relationship. Basically, what happened was, while the Tony, or Russell Crowe, was a big-time famous actor, his wife got cancer, and they had a kid at that time period. And when his wife had cancer, he just didn't feel like he wanted anything to do with her, basically. He was a piece of garbage, so he just let her like rot, and then he went and he's doing a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, and banging a lot of women, supposedly. And then she passed away, and he's been dealing with this guilt that he's had for years. And now his daughter's come back to his life, and he's been trying to keep his life clean in a sense, and he's trying to stay on his medication and not drink anything. But once he's cast in this film, because of his, being once a great actor, and the director really wanting him in this film, thinking that he could provide something into this role that will be great. I guess the self-doubt, which that should be if this was a remake of The Exorcist. I mean, they say the title of the film that he's casting is called Georgetown, and he goes, that's not the actual project. That's that's a false title, because that's what they do in Hollywood. A lot of times when they're making a movie or a TV show, they'll use a fake name while they're making the movie. So this is called the Georgetown Project, but it's really supposed to be like an Exorcist remake, or we're supposed to believe that it is an Exorcist remake. And while they're filming, he only gets like 1 day of shoot. So everything's like, this is kind of like a meta film, and it's like a Nightmare on Elm Street, the sixth one, the seventh one, the New Nightmare. It's kind of like that in a sense, but it's not like the writer is making things come to life, because there's something in there besides him being dark. There's something, an entity in this house that is demonic and possessing the set. Supposedly, I mean, the problem with this movie, this is the real problem. So I will just tell you the outline of it. Basically, Russell Crowe does get possessed in this film, and while he's on set, and things start going bad, and then they have to remove this demon from him. So the problem with this movie is it doesn't really know what it wants to do. It's being bland, because it's not like it's being bland. It just is bland. It's a bland film. It really wants to tell the story, I feel like, of the father and the daughter. And then in the background is this exorcism and this film that's being made, and that he's possessed. But is he really possessed? We don't know. No, he's supposed to be really possessed. The guy that started the film died because there was a demon in the house, or in the set. And the demon is secondary in this movie. It's like he's like, whatever. It's more about Russell Crowe's demons, his internal demons, than it is about the demon possessing him. And are we supposed to believe that Moloch? Because that's the thing too. If it's supposedly a remake of The Exorcist, it's supposed to be Pazuzu, not Moloch. So, but they say Moloch in this one. Moloch is supposedly possessing him, but we get nothing into this, nothing to definitively, the least that I can remember. I did fall asleep watching this, sadly, because it was so boring. So I might have missed the part where they actually address the demon, but they don't. I don't think so. David Hyde Pierce, I believe that's his name, from Frasier, Niles Crane. He's in this movie. Russell Crowe's in this movie. Those are the only two good things in this film. And the only reason I think this guy Niles decided to be in this movie is because Russell Crowe's in it. So basically, the film doesn't know what it wants to do. It doesn't know if it wants to be a supernatural exorcism movie about religion, or if it wants to be a movie about behind the scenes, the making of a movie and an actor's struggle dealing with his internal demons and trying to portray or give a good performance, or if it's about the actor's personal life and his relationship with his lesbian daughter. She's played by Ryan Simpkins. She does a decent job. That's all I could say. Sam Worthington's in this movie too. He plays Joe, a guy who's going to replace Russell Crowe. Something happens there too. And then Lee Miller was the daughter, the lesbian daughter. It's also about her and getting kicked out of school, her dealing with her father that she doesn't really like, that her mother died. She blames her father, which he is kind of to blame for not being around and not being that support for her. And he's like, oh, I was a piece of shit. Ugh. And then she's attracted to this black girl named Blake, and that she starts falling in love with her, and it's about that relationship too at the same time. And then magically at the end to the third act, the climax, which I don't understand either. Something happens in this film that makes no sense. Did it really happen or not? I don't know. It went black, and then all of a sudden it cuts to Niles Crane basically baptizing Lee and Blake. So, they're not baptizing them, just blessing them, not even baptizing them. So all of a sudden now they're children, like, they have sins. They're supposed to be baptized. They have to have real, actual faith in the Bible and in Jesus and in this in order for the exorcism to work. They have to actually believe. And never is there a moment where they actually believe. And then the special, not the special effects, but the moments where it's supposed to be like, oh my God, it's scary. It's like The Exorcist is a moment where Russell Crowe's like back breaks, kind of like he just arches all the way back and he's like a big U and he's looking at them and he starts swinging. That was okay, kind of cool. But later on, then it goes black and then the lights come back on and he's in a different room in a second and he's just smashing his head on the table. That wasn't great. Why wasn't that great? First, there was no blood that I saw while he was doing it. And also I saw this already in Let Me In or Talk to Me, whatever that movie was. Talk to Me, it was, yeah. I already saw that much better done, scary. In this, no, most of this is jump scares. It's a pretty bland film in general. There's nothing actually good about it. And then I don't know what's the ending. Is the ending that not, it's a spoiler if you don't want to hear this part, okay, spoiler. Who is the ending focusing on at the end? Because there's a moment where the priest says, "Take me, take me," right? And like in the Exorcist, and Russell Crowe reaches out and touches him, and basically the demon goes into the priest. Now, what the visions we're seeing, is that Russell Crowe? Okay, so this is the part I was confused about and I didn't understand necessarily, and I still don't understand. I looked it up and I'm not getting information correct online. I asked AI has a long way to go. I was asking, like, whose perspective am I seeing at the end? Because in the beginning of the movie, we were told by Russell Crowe's character that he used to be an altar boy, and they were saying, "Do you remember any prayers from that?" And he goes, "Oh, it's been so long ago." Blah 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 blah. Later on in the film, there's a moment where he's possessed, and the priest, played by David Hyde Pierce, says, "Take me, don't take him, take me," whatever, and the demon goes into the priest, okay? And then it's terrible. He goes into the priest, and then we start seeing flashbacks of what I thought was a young Russell Crowe's character, a young Tony, walking into the priest's room, and basically this priest basically does something to him, you know? And later on, when Russell Crowe falls in real time and he gets back up, the priest says something to him, and he goes, "You're already in the right position," like to do something to him. So basically, I don't know, was that Russell Crowe's memory as a young person, remembering what happened to him, was like that? Because after that, he remembers his prayer, or is that the priest remembering what he's done to a boy? I don't know. We don't really get. I didn't get the sense of knowing what that was. Yeah. So the only good thing about this movie is the scenes with Russell Crowe. He's just an acting performance. I guess he needed a paycheck, or he's into religion now. Not sure which one. Heard he's not into religion, but with his last movie being the Pope's Exorcist, right? And then this one being and this one being the Exorcism. You would think he's getting into religion now, or he believes in demonic entities or something. I don't know. He's the best part of the movie. Besides that, the movie's bland. The director kind of sucks in this. The only other good actor in this movie, technically not the daughter, is the guy who's playing the director from. He was in Dazed and Confused. That's what he was in. I thought he was in Entourage. No, he was in Dazed and Confused. I just want to dance. So he was good in this movie. He plays an asshole really well. He always does play an asshole really well. So he was good in this. Besides that, nothing. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Russell Crowe seeing him on film now, because we saw where he came from when he was younger in Gladiator and everything. And then Ridley Scott told him, "Hey, listen, mate, why don't you gain some weight and be in this movie I'm doing called Body of Lies?" With I don't think Ridley Scott talks like that, but starring Leo DiCaprio, and you could come on board and the two of you could work together. And he was like, "Sure, I'll be a hick in that movie." And he gained a lot of weight, and he's not lost it since. And I would assume it's probably really hard for. I mean, I know. Look, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to lose weight. But I'm not a movie star, despite this beautiful setting. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel bad because he's kind of like ending up like our Marlon Brando. I mean, because if you watch this movie compared to the Pope's Exorcist, he's gained a lot of weight in that time period already. So I don't know. I hope he's not drinking. I hope he could get that taken care of, because he's come a long way. And I feel bad. And Marlon Brando, if you don't know, used to be like Russell Crowe, very attractive leading man, and when he was younger, and then ate himself away to the point where you couldn't recognize him in The Island of Dr. Moreau or in the movie The Score. So with Edward Norton, which is a good movie. I like that movie a lot. Edward Norton always plays a character that turns in Primal Fear, and then in The Score, where we thought he was something all the way until what, and you're like, what? I like that movie. I gotta rewatch that. But anyway, talking about a good movie, and this is not a good movie. I guess I'm gonna give this movie 1 out of 5 stars, and that one is for Russell Crowe. David I. Pierce does a good job too, but he's got nothing to do. He's just playing a priest. He's not really religious either. That's another thing. The movie's like, I don't want to stay in religion. Hey, guess what? I prefer The First Omen over this any day of the week. The First Omen is 100 times better than this. This is actual garbage. This was a really terrible film. I should give it 0, but I'm giving it 1 because Russell Crowe did a good job. He was the only one. It makes no sense. Another spoiler thing, at the end of, there's a scene, like I said, that he jumps out the window and then it goes to black, and then David Hyde Pierce is blessing the 2 kids, and they're gonna fight the demon together, all 3 of them. What the fuck? Did he die? Did he disappear? They look over and then nothing. Garbage movie, terrible movie. I don't know what this director sucks. Let me see what he's done, because he's also part of the writing team. Joshua John Miller. This fucking douche. He looks familiar. Oh my God, is he was the kid in fucking Near Dark. Well, buddy, I'm sorry. You were a decent actor. You fucking suck. You directed this, right? It doesn't say director. Yeah, director. 2 things. This and something called Mao Game in 1999. Well, this is shit. You should think about doing something. At least if you're not writing it, try working on something you're not writing. Even that, though, I saw nothing unique about your filming style. Sorry, Joshua. Movie shit. Don't go see it. Terrible, terrible horror film.